Hi everyone, I'm here today on a beautiful windy day in Altamont Springs, Florida. And I just wanted to talk about my topic for my semester paper, or the paper I would have written. And it is about implying speed bumps on my busy street that I live on. So it's not technically a highway, but it's definitely come a long way over the past few years. Personally, I just moved here a few months ago, but I've talked to a bunch of the neighbors and they told me it was never this busy before they built the Altamont Mall. So our street that we live on is right, people call it like a cut through to the mall. So it sees a lot of traffic at night, in the morning, and it's right off of I-4, so it's also a cut through for I-4. Now let me show you guys. As we start to drive down my street, you notice that you have a beautiful lake over here, lake views, and you have, one sign saying it curbs a little bit. Now keep in mind the speed limit is 20. I am going 20. The road is very windy. Oh, it's 25. And there's the sign to remind you. And here comes the speed sign that the curve is 20. Here we are at the first curve. As you can see, the lake behind it, you can see how, far it curves over here, and you saw in the car video as well. And again, no speed bumps, nothing, and you just see people flying around the corner. And because they fly around this corner, it makes them think that they can just keep speeding so quickly around the next corner as well. Let's take a look down there. Curve. Again, no speed limit sign here, so people don't know the speed limit. The curve just has the arrows. And again, all of these houses, 1, 2, 3, a little neighborhood back there as well, on the curve, they have this silver metal post, but I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to be doing. And many people just fly down this street. And when you start walking towards the other side, there is another curve, and it does show you the speed limit, that you can only go 20. Now, because there are two different big curves, I might add, that you'll see in my other videos, it confuses people as to what the speed limit actually is. What I think one of the biggest issues within the issue of the speed bumps is that the internal stakeholders aren't really that worried about it because they're not the ones dealing with it. It's people like me and people like my neighbors and people across the street, the external stakeholders, are the ones that are worried. And they're worried for this community in the sense that what are we gonna do to slow these people down? Also, a huge concern with the big speeding is, the children and pets. But after I talked to the city of Altamont and I got kind of the invisible hand response, I kind of laid off a little bit and kind of realized what I could do and just kind of observe. So I started observing around, and the only thing I did see was they put up a huge speed trap on the end curve. And the speed trap got probably 12 or 15 people with tickets and everything. And I think that the law enforcement finally were understanding how busy the street really is, because that's a lot of tickets. So after the speed trap obviously worked, they ended up doing more speed traps within the same month. Different times, different locations, different spots on the road, just so that they can catch where necessarily the people are speeding the most. But after a month, they kind of stopped, and they stopped really caring, or it felt. So I called the city of Altamont to, double check in and see what was going on. Are they gonna put speed bumps on? Are they gonna put a camera somewhere to catch people on each curve? I really just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just done. So after I could finally get somebody on the phone from the city of Altamont Springs, it was a lot of, hold here, hold there. The lady finally explained to me that there was a lot of overstaffing in their department. So she was very accountable because she was brand new and she didn't know what she was allowed to tell me, what she wasn't allowed to tell me. And I really was just asking to make sure that there was something intact to get the ball rolling. Like, what's happening in our community? And she asked me to check with our city's procedure, and I had no idea what she was talking about, so I'm so glad that I did. So she's basically told me to organize a campaign, build a case, and that'll really help determine if this street needs speed bumps, or maybe it needs something else, signs, cameras, anything besides just speed bumps. As I was on the phone with the woman from the city of Altamont Springs, she mentioned the 3-step process that I need to start beginning if I really want to make this problem disappear. And that is education, engineering, and enforcement. She said without 2 of the 3 of those, this is really not going to become a big issue and it's really not going to work. So I asked her, what do you mean? And she was like, you need to, make a plan. Where are we getting these speed bumps? Where are we putting them? Engineer-wise, which part of the road are they going on? Who is going to enforce it? And how are we going to have the knowledge to do this? And she said once that you get 2 of the 3 of those, it really becomes a huge matter in that sense. I also asked her, what are the chances this isn't going to happen? Is the funding okay, or is it really expensive to do this? And she said that a lot of the reasons that most of the time speed bumps don't get applied is because of the funding. They just don't have money to put speed bumps to slow people down when people are supposed to be going the speed limit. So as my project is coming to an end, and so is the semester, so is kind of my relationship with the city of Altamont Springs. There's not much more I can personally do. I have built a claim, I built a case as well with a lot of my neighbors, and it has been pretty successful. They just keep talking about the funding and how much speed bumps cost. And they haven't really decided if they're going to or if they're not, because, the enforcement is really awesome in the sense that speed bumps are self-enforced. Nobody has to sit around and watch them. But on the flip side, they're trying to argue that it is less expensive to just have a police officer and do speed traps, every few months, 3 or 4 times a month. So I think that we're really going to try to get this issue resolved.